Good morning, everybody. It is 6 a.m. Saturday, February 19th. We're headed out to hike Eagle Creek to Tunnel Falls. It's supposed to be a rainy day. Definitely bringing the raincoat today. I think it's somewhere between 11 and 12 miles, almost 2,000 foot gain. Lots of waterfalls on the trail. Looking forward to it. Need some coffee. It's about 7:45 and we are getting started on the trail. I gotta get used to recording horizontally now. Looks like 6 miles to Tunnel Falls, so it should be about 12 round trip. And we've done part of this trail before. We've gone out to Punch Bowl Falls, which was about a 4.5 mile round trip. So we're gonna extend it out a little bit. I think the entire Eagle Creek Trail is 13 or 14 out. We're not doing that today. So we just got to the section where you'd go off to Punch Bowl Falls. That's where we turned around last time. So the rest is new territory for us. Hopefully from the clips I provided, you can see what a beautiful trail it is. A lot of waterfalls off the trail down by the creek. I think we probably have another 4 or so miles to Tunnel Falls. So continuing on. I don't know exactly how far we've gone, but I know we're close. So probably just a little bit more, and then we will get to Tunnel Falls. As you could just see, we made it to the falls. It was misty. Didn't record any video as we were recording or taking photos because it was just too wet. But I'll put the photos in here right now. I hope you liked those photos. And I convinced Leslie to let us go just a wee bit farther. There's one more waterfall, and then we're gonna head back. Twister Falls. You can see why it's called Twister Falls. All right, that's the end of our hike. Well, except for the way back.
I didn't really take any photos on the way other than at Tunnel Falls, so I am going to put the video away on the way back and take some photos. If I got any good ones, I'll put them in right here. Okay, so that's it for the hiking portion.
Okay, I realized I ended the session there on the trail pretty abruptly, but that's okay. I'll have to work on the transition. But now we are in the editing lab, also known as the little spare bedroom turned into office. So I just want to take you into the basics of how I'm going to edit one of the photos from today. So let's dive on in. Okay, so this is the photo that I'm going to use for the edit. That is me. I had Leslie get the shot of me. So I'm not going to use any presets. We'll just go through a little bit of the editing process. So first thing, I'm going to put this on Instagram. So crop it 4:5. I'm going to get myself in the center there. So we'll start with that. Next thing I see here is it's a little dark. So let's up the shadows a little bit. For now, I like that. And then let's lower the highlights a little bit. That's going to mostly change what the water's looking like. As you can see, we don't want it there. So we'll start with that. Okay. Sometimes I like to see what the auto white balance does. In this case, I think it kept it relatively the same, so we'll keep that. With this case, with the water, I don't want to increase the clarity. I'm going to drop it just a little bit. And then increase the vibrance and reduce the saturation just a tad. So to see, that's the edit so far. Press Y. That's where we started. That's where we are now. So far, I don't like it better. I'm going to come down now and use the dehaze tool because there was a lot of mist, so that's going to create some haze. I'm going to add a subtle vignette, you tell me. And then I like to do this in the beginning, but I didn't do that yet. So we're going to go to a basic lens correction, enable profile, remove chromatic aberration, and then I'm going to put in the lens I used. So it was this Tamron 28-75. That can get rid of some distortion. So if we take that away, first put it back, I don't know if it really makes a big difference in this case, but I will just keep that. I'm going to sharpen it just a little bit. I like that. I think especially where I am made a difference there. So if we take that away, if you take a look at me, maybe you can tell, but I can tell that I look sharper. So I like that. And coming back up, not a whole lot else that I think needs to be done. I'm going to see if I can get those greens to pop a little bit more. So we'll increase that saturation. Turned it off and on. It didn't really make a big difference. Maybe if we lighten the greens a little bit, or a lot of it. Yeah, it didn't make a huge difference there. Maybe if we add some yellows. No, it's so dark, so it's not making too much of a difference. I mean, that I think looks pretty good. didn't really need a whole lot. Again, going back to the before and after, I think mainly I just kind of opened up the shadows a little bit here. I want to brighten the water a little bit, I think. So I turned down the highlights to lower that. And I like the highlights down, but I think what I'm going to do is try a brush tool. I'm not sure if I'm going to like this or not, but if I can paint that water, so the red is just showing me what I've painted. You can press O to turn that on or off. So O comes on, O, it comes off, but that area is still painted. Let's just see what happens here if I increase the whites. So there, I like that. I like how it looks better than the original. Increase the blacks a little bit. Let's see, the shadows. That's looking a little bit better to me. Basically, I think there's more detail in the waterfall compared to the original, and now it's getting a little bit brighter. And then increase the exposure. So it's almost as bright as it was in the original shot, but there's a little bit more detail in there. So I like that. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to do. Just comparing it to the unedited version. I think I pop a little bit more there. And here you can see I'm not popping quite the same. So I'm going to remove the original. I'm going to zoom in on myself. There we go. And I'm going to use another brush tool. And I'm going to just color the jacket in, or paint the jacket. I'm going to try to make it pop a little bit more without making it look bad. So we'll increase the shadows a little bit. We'll just add a wee bit to the exposure. Can brighten the whites. You can already tell that's significantly brighter than it was. Try the highlights. That might be too much. So we'll go back to the full image there. I think that looks okay. I don't think that looks like too much of a pop. Again, going back to the before to the after, that looks pretty similar to me. I mean, again, even with these edits that I did, this didn't make a significant change. There's not a huge difference. I could have kept this photo unedited, and I think it's pretty good as is. The only other thing that I can think of that maybe I'll try is adding a little bit more detail into the background. So that means another, whoops, not the spot removal tool, another brush. So I'm gonna brush everything in the back here. Everything behind the waterfall. Okay, I'm gonna try increasing the sharpness. Let's fill this in a little bit. Okay, sharpness. And let's try increasing the clarity. Yeah, it's not a huge change, but it's a little bit noticeable. And then maybe the shadows as well. I think the shadows is a no-go there. I don't want it to be too bright. So if we look at it without those changes, when I remove it, it's removing all of the brushes that I did, so that will change the water as well. But focusing on the rock back there, you know, it's not a huge difference, but this photo didn't need a whole lot. I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm gonna call it there. Okay, so that was my first time going through recording my editing and talking about it, so we'll see how that was. If you have any questions about what I did, please let me know in the comments. Hopefully I can make some editing videos to go over some specific things that I did. And yeah, I had a bunch of other images, of course, that I edited as well, but I'm not going to go through all of them. Probably should have picked a different one though, because that one was, it didn't require a ton, but that's kind of the process that I was going through to edit that photo at least. Alright, well, I really appreciate you watching my first YouTube video, and we'll see you next time.